This is for JL then. Many scholars have noted that the Patriot Act violates our constitutional rights, in particular the Fourth Amendment, which I'm going to read for you. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Specifically, the Patriot Act allows wiretaps on electronic devices, search without prior warrant, even for minor crimes, and, quote, guilt by association, even when persons are unaware that they are giving advice to a potential terrorist. On the other hand, the Patriot Act allowed authorities to use new technology to locate the people involved in the murder of Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl. Does the Patriot Act do more to protect citizens or to violate their rights? What would you like to do about it? JL?
Well, the Patriot Act uses the technology to violate the rights to save the people. I mean, it's kind of a crossover. I don't like it. Of course, the terrorists really don't like it. The people that don't get blown up from, terrorist bombs or, machetes, whatever it might be, I'm sure they like it. They appreciate it. Overall, it is an infringement on not only the Fourth Amendment, but the Seventh and the Ninth. It's a fine line if it's strictly with police enforcement, with the actual judicial authority for the wiretaps. It's within the law. I don't agree with the Patriot Act or the NDAA simply because it totally erodes our American ways. For no better term, that's it. I don't agree.
Okay, Harry, you have 1 minute.
Well, the Patriot Act is a classic case of legislation that if the majority of the American people had a chance to vote on it, it would not be law. And partly because it's extremely complex and it puts an enormous amount of faith in secrecy in government to spy on people. Oh, and it doesn't, you like to think, well, they're just going after bad people. But gee, anybody who disagrees with you might be considered a bad person. And so you might not like the policies they're doing, and oh, that's a terrorist. In that person's mind, there's no judicial review. They can just do it with abandon. It's just George Orwell's 1984 coming true with a vengeance. And once again, the only way to stop this is to put the people in charge of this federal government and the state governments so that we can have the people making the determinations about just how intrusive the government has a right to be.
Okay, JL, do you want your 30 seconds for this?
Well, I agree. It's the Orwellian, however you want to pronounce that, presence, and that's wrong. That's wrong. The bill needs to be totally undone, or the law needs to be undone. It is technically void because of the corruption allowed to pass the law, or the bill into law. However, with the current government, we're not going to be able to do anything about it without looking like the terrorist and disappearing one night and no one ever hears from us again.
Well, I don't know how many pages this document is, the Patriot Act, but it's kind of curious to note that it was 3 days after September 11th that it was enacted. And so how did they write that whole bill in 3 days? I want to know. Unless they stayed up all night, every night for 3 days in a row. It does seem a little convenient that it was written so extensively before September 11th even happened. So, Harry, do you want to take your 30 seconds to talk about that?
Well, once again, I think our federal government, nobody knows who wrote that Patriot Act bill. It's all kind of nameless. It just comes out as policy, and who's behind it, who really knows? Who's executing it properly, who really knows? I just think the whole fundamental way our government works, it operates in such secrecy and in such an intrusive manner that I just am absolutely convinced if the majority of the people had to sign off on this, they would not do it.
Well, thank you both for participating, and thank you, Andre, for participating with one of the questions. We would have liked to have Andre in the entire debate, except for technical difficulties. So I look forward to our next debate. Our next debate is about immigration and naturalization and illegal drugs. Thank you very much for debating with me today. From Los Angeles, this is Judy Frankel signing off. Thank you.